Well, it's finally fall, y'all, and it's time for some more pumpkin recipes. Decorating with pumpkins and cooking with pumpkins. And I'm thinking, how about a pumpkin roll? And the pumpkin roll that was my favorite was the old-fashioned Libby's pumpkin roll. Let's talk about our ingredients. And for this beautiful pumpkin roll, it really doesn't take a whole lot of ingredients, not even a lot of flour. So there's only 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour in my bowl. I've got a cup of sugar. I've got 3 large beaten eggs. And right here I've got a half a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, got a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of ground cloves. Now, as far as the pumpkin, you can use pureed pumpkin, you can use pureed butternut squash, you can use sweet potatoes. I mean, it's all going to turn out to be good, so whatever you got. If you don't have pumpkin, but you have the butternut squash or you have the sweet potatoes, it's going to work. And you just need about 2/3 cup of your canned pumpkin, or if you put your own pumpkin up. Of course, your canned pumpkin, and this is Libby's, is 15 ounces. So you're going to have some left over. So what I do with my leftover pumpkin is I put it in little Ziploc baggies, and I put pumpkin on it, and I put it in the freezer, and I have a couple in there right now. So my next recipe, all I do is I pull out some of my leftover pumpkin, and that's what I'll be using. And usually 1 can of pumpkin will make 2 different desserts. So you can get 2 desserts most of the time out of 1 can of pumpkin, about 15 ounces. But if you've made your own and put your own up, and I don't have any canned pumpkin right now, but I do have canned butternut squash put up, and I could use that. But I wanted to do a video on this because this is one of the first pumpkin rolls I ever made. Was Libby's, years ago. It was Libby's recipe, and so that's what I want to do because it is one of my favorites. So you got your 2/3 cup of pumpkin, and this is optional. Sometimes I'll put pecans and walnuts in it, but you don't have to. A lot of people don't put them in there. But if you do like nuts and you'd like to have some in there, put about a cup. But I mean, that's all your recipe calls for. So let's get our batter together. So all you really want to do is just pretty much just mix your dry ingredients up together. And from that point on, you're just going to mix up your wet ingredients and put it all together. I've got my oven heated at 375. You're going to need what they call a jelly roll pan. It's about a 10 by 15. I think mine's actually about a 10 and a half by almost 16, but it still works. So we got our 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We got our cup of sugar. We got all of our spices, our baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, and cloves. Now, cloves is a very stout spice, and y'all have heard me say before that I don't like a lot of it, just a little bit. Now, if you use a pumpkin pie spice, it does have nutmeg and ginger in it, and that's not what the Libby's recipe calls for, but if you want to put that in there, you surely can. So we're just mixing that up. Now we're just going to I'm going to mix up my pumpkin with my eggs, because that's the only wet ingredient we have. Pumpkin rolls freeze so well. It's such a good gift to have because you can make these up ahead of time and freeze them. I would say I wouldn't keep them in the freezer probably more than a month. I mean, you got to wrap them up good, that's for sure, to keep them from getting freezer burnt. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit. My 3 large eggs with my pumpkin. That's just to help it all get incorporated really well. So your other ingredients that you'll need for your pumpkin roll will be cream cheese, 8 ounces, butter, vanilla, confectioner's sugar, and you can see how I've whipped the pumpkin up with my eggs. So what you're really making here is a sponge for your pumpkin roll. So I'm going to put all that in there. Just going to mix this up. It smells really good. Just make sure that you got it mixed up really, really well. And then we're going to go get the jelly roll pan. Now I sprayed the bottom of my pan, put parchment paper, and then I sprayed it again. And like I said, a jelly roll pan is usually, I think, a 10 by 15. This one's just maybe a ½ inch bigger than that, but it's still going to work. You just don't want one any smaller than that because your cake, your sponge will be too thick and it won't roll up very good. A lot of times you can go to the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, sometimes yard sales, and find a jelly roll pan. Now I've got another jelly roll that I make at Christmas time, and I'll put that recipe down, the link to it down below my video. And I might try to do some more jelly rolls before Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you just spread this out. I know I had a lot of people commenting saying they wanted some pumpkin recipes. And I know that a lot of y'all make pumpkin rolls, but a lot of people have never made them. And I just wanted to get on here and show y'all my favorite one. And for those that are a little bit intimidated by them, I want to show you that they're so easy to make and such a good gift, really any time of year, because they freeze so well. I've got an in-law, my daughter-in-law's mom. She used to make them. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was around Thanksgiving. She would make them and freeze them and give them out to people. And I always thought that was nice. Because everybody, especially this time of year, really enjoy the pumpkin rolls. And when you slice them up, and serve them sliced up, it makes a pretty presentation too. Let's see, I've got a recipe for a chocolate roll, which is usually done around Christmas, and then like I said, my white one, I do around Christmas. I've got that one that I've done, and I've done a video on it. You know, if y'all go below my videos, you go below the title of the video. Down there is all my information. You just go below the title where sometimes it'll say more or it'll say show more, and you just click on that, and my information and my recipes for that recipe for that video will be there. You just got to kind of click that and then scroll down. You can see how thin this is getting, because you do want your sponge to be thin. You just need to make sure that it's as even as you can get it. You know, I had my 10 by 15 jelly roll pan, and to tell you the truth, I couldn't find it. I could not find it. I don't know. I have no idea. You know how things disappear and you're just like, well, I don't understand where it went. So I'm going to have to go and buy me another one. But like I said, this one's close enough, just by maybe an inch, maybe. So you just want to get it all spread out. Okay, there it is, spread out. You can beat it on the table a little bit and kind of get it more even. Now, I'm going to put this in my 375 degree oven. Now, some of y'all, if your oven runs really hot, do it at 350. And I want you to set your timer at 11 minutes and then check your sponge. And you'll be able to see, and then press down on it. If it's, kind of springs back, you know it's done. But usually it takes anywhere from 11 to 15 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. Sometimes you may have to turn it, but it shouldn't take really no more than 15 minutes to cook. Okay, while our cake is cooking, I'm going to show y'all. This is what I call tea towel. And for those of y'all that have been with me since the beginning, y'all watched me in the early beginnings of my channel rolling out biscuits and cinnamon rolls and different things on a tea towel that was floured. That's just the way I guess you could say I was raised doing it that way because my grandmother done it that way. And I just always did. It's easy to clean up and nothing sticks to it. And tea towels just work when you put a little flour on it when you're making biscuits and it. Because people didn't have, back in the day, they didn't have the pastry mats and stuff like that, so they just used a tea towel. Now, I'm not going to be using flour today though. On my tea towel here, I'm going to turn it this way because I'll be rolling up the sponge. And this one, let's see, yeah, I'm going to turn it this way. It's just no tea towel, it's ugly, but it works. And instead of flour, I'm using confectioner's sugar, y'all. And I'm just going to take it and sprinkle it over the top of my tea towel. This will be where I take the sponge cake out and I'll lay it on top of here, and then I will roll it up. And you want that confectioner's sugar on there to keep it from sticking to the tea towel. Because once you roll it up, you're going to have to leave it rolled up for a little bit and let it cool completely. So there we go. It's about that easy. So I'm just going to wait for my cake to get done. And just as soon as it comes out, we'll have to flip it over and put it here on our tea towel. Okay, our sponge is done. Just come out. Took about 11 minutes. That's all it took. And I'm just going to take it and put it right over my tea towel that has my confectioner's sugar on it. And while it's still warm, we're just going to start rolling it. Just like that. Pull it towards you. Now, I'm going to put it on this rack, and we're just going to leave it there and let it cool completely. So I can go about doing my business, get my cream cheese and stuff ready for the filling, and just let it cool off. Okay, our cake is good and cool. So let's make our filling. We're just going to need about 8 ounces of cream cheese, 6 tablespoons of softened butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a cup of confectioner's sugar. And that's our filling. So let's get to mixing it up. And you can do this with your bigger mixer, with your KitchenAid or whatever you have. It makes it easier on you. Okay, we're going to add our 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. Okay, we got it mixed up. Now if you find that it's really too stiff and not spreadable, just put just a little bit of milk or heavy cream in it. I put just maybe a teaspoon of heavy cream in mine to make it a little more spreadable. Okay, here's our pumpkin roll. We're just going to kind of unroll it. It's completely cool. And I know, and I forgot to tell y'all, I didn't go ahead and put pecans in mine because I got thinking I've got a grandson that's going to be eating this that doesn't really care for pecans, but he does love pumpkin roll. So I didn't put the nuts in there. So anyways, there's our cake, our sponge. And it does look kind of rough right now, but it's fixing to get to looking better. We're going to take our filling and put it on there, and we're fixing to start spreading it. This would be a really fun thing to do with your kids too, because you know, it's not a hard recipe. It's easy to put together. It doesn't take much time, and I think that they would really enjoy the process of it too. I've got powdered sugar all over me, y'all. Y'all know how I am when I get to cooking, when I get to baking and a cooking. So I am going to be doing a few more pumpkin recipes. I've got a couple that I've never made that I'm wanting to do and share with y'all, so that'll be coming up. Coming up will also be a recipe starting out of one of my old cookbooks. We'll start cooking with my cookbooks pretty soon, and I'm really excited about that. And we're going to be doing some outdoor cooking too. So I hope everybody's doing well. So devastating of the hurricane and the aftermath of it. Our heart goes out to everyone. We have prayed and prayed and prayed for everyone and their safety in the path of all of it. You just never know the turn of these storms. You can predict and predict and predict, but we've had 100-year floods here in Arkansas that was devastating. And I had never seen such a flood, you know, in all my time here in Arkansas. So that was really an eye-opener when your whole town floods out and people are just without for so long. It's really hard, especially people on low income that can't really get things built up for harder times and things that happen with the weather or whatever. So we always got to make sure that we can help each other in these times. And I know a lot of y'all are. So many of y'all are helping. And it's such a beautiful thing to see people come together and help each other. Now you see, I left a little bit around the edge. And I'm going to turn this. Just like that. Now you can roll it either way. You can roll it this way or have it come to you. And I'm just going to gently roll it. Just like that. And usually the end of it is not, until you cut that end off, doesn't really look that pretty, but it will. So what I'll do is I'll wrap this in plastic wrap. Okay, I'm just going to roll this up in my plastic wrap, and then I'm just going to put this in the fridge, and we're just going to chill it. And really and truly, I don't even like cutting it till it's good and chilled. And from this point right now, you can wrap it up double. Wrap it up really good and stick it in your freezer just like this. And then when you're ready to take it out during the holidays or for gifts, just take it out and thaw it out on your counter. And you've got a pumpkin roll ready to go. So there is your old-fashioned Libby's pumpkin roll. Been around a few years, and it's one of my favorite recipes. So I hope it becomes one of y'all's. If you've never made a pumpkin roll, you got to do it. When you do it for the first time, you're going to see how simple it is and really how good it is. And it's such a good thing to have during the holidays or as a gift or anything like that. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all make y'all a pumpkin roll. And there's going to be some different rolls to come up too. I got Christmas rolls, I got chocolate rolls, all kinds of different kind of rolls. So this is one of my favorites though. So I hope y'all try it. So I hope y'all have had a good weekend, and we're getting on into the week, and we're going to try to put out several videos this week, and not sure what they're going to be, but I'm hoping by the end of the week that I get to start my cooking with my cookbooks, because that's something that y'all really want me to start doing, and I'm kind of getting excited about it too. So all of y'all that have been through all these bad storms, and I know there's so many that's been devastated by it, and we've been watching and we've been thinking about y'all and been praying about all those that are in a bad way right now. So we all need to pull together and help each other and do whatever we can. So God bless everybody. We'll see y'all in a few days. Y'all stay safe, and remember, God loves you, and we love you too.